like, does your program provide funding? Right now, the program provides $750 pre-seed money for students who went through the program, maybe they want to buy something to help them in prototyping, or they want to register their business, or they want to buy a material to help them in their business. That's the pre-seed money. But there are so many funding opportunities in this region. What I like to tell students is first develop your business, develop your idea, test and see. With very few resources that are available to you, it can be through that pre-seed funding or the resources that you already have, and test the market and see how people react to your idea, to your product, to your service. And once you see like a proof of concept, once you have a proof of concept, once you see some good reaction, it's easy to be like, okay, this is then what I need. I've been able to see some success using these very, very few resources. Now that I know that if I got this, I will be able to achieve what I want to achieve. I would be able to get greater results.
Life that I'm living. Sit back, chillin', start about that business with the focus. Making millions, it's the stuff that dreams are made of. And no.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Let's Talk Business. Today I have a wonderful guest here, Ms. Ange Agasaro, who is the program chair for the Garatoni School of Entrepreneurship and Innovation with Ivy Tech Community College. We're looking so forward to having this discussion with her, as she's going to elaborate a little bit about the program for entrepreneurs and all that it does to help those in the area, as well as learn a little bit about her background and her history and her motivations. So with that being said, without any further ado, let us give our attention to Ms. Ange Agasaro. How you doing?
I'm doing well,
Yes.
Marvel. Thank you for having me.
Yes, no problem. Thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, so let's start out with a little bit about your background. So can you tell us a little bit about where you come from and how you got here?
Yes, so I am from East Africa in a country called Rwanda, and I grew up there, and I came here for college, and I spent my college years in Nebraska at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and then graduated, worked a little bit, and then came here in South Bend for grad school, and I went at Notre Dame for my grad school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're an alumni with the University of Notre Dame?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you come from Africa. You made the transition somehow to Nebraska, and then you ended up in South Bend, obviously for school.
Yeah.
What did you take up at Notre Dame?
So at Notre Dame, I can start a little bit in Nebraska. In Nebraska, my major was integrated science, and I had a minor in leadership and entrepreneurship. So most of my work in college was based on research. I was doing research mainly in food science and other areas, agricultural areas. But with my background in entrepreneurship, I developed an entrepreneurial mindset, and I had different projects in mind that I wanted to pursue, and that led me to want to have to get more education in entrepreneurship. So I was looking for schools that would help me get more entrepreneurship skills and learn how to develop businesses, how to grow a business, and that's where I got to learn about the STEAM program at Notre Dame. So the STEAM program is basically STEM in entrepreneurship, and that combines the engineering and science and technology with entrepreneurship. since I already had a scientific background, I was like, wow, this is the perfect combination of my background and what I want to do. So that's how I joined the STEAM program, applied, and I got accepted, and that's how I went to Notre Dame. So I was pursuing, I was in the program called STEAM, and it's STEM Entrepreneurship, which is Engineering, Science, and Technology Entrepreneurship.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So that is great. Thank you for sharing that with us about your journey in regards to your educational pursuits. And you found yourself attracted to the entrepreneurship
Yeah.
program. So how did you end up at Ivy Tech Community College?
Yes, so I was, so when I was in that program, we take classes, obviously, but we also had what we called capstone projects. And my capstone project was, I was working with a startup in entertainment, but I also had a project on my own that I was working on. It was related to hair care, and one day I was I was also in a program called Race to Revenue. It's like an incubator, a 10-week program that happens usually in the summer at Notre Dame, and you apply and also get accepted. So I was accepted in that program, and as I was going through that program, one day I was pitching my idea, and then I met the executive director of RISE, and RISE is another organization that teach entrepreneurship and train teachers in this region, but also in Indiana and in areas close to Indiana, the Midwest. So that's where she told me about there's a position that does this and this. If you are interested, you can apply. And I applied, and I got the position, and I've been in the position. I've been serving in that position for 3 years now.
All right, 3 years, and we're very glad that you've
Yeah.
been serving in that position for 3 years, and may many more come to you.
Yes,
Because
yes.
no doubt you've been instrumental in the success of a lot of students who come through that program.
Yeah, it has been a pleasure. I've met so many passionate students who, one, they already had a business idea they wanted to pursue. Others were just open to learning and see what opportunities are out there, and it has been a pleasure to serve those students.
Okay, so I want to go back before we delve real much more into the program itself. I want to talk a little bit about your background and your coming up. Now, you mentioned you grew up in Africa. What was that like for you growing up in your home area, your home country?
Yeah, growing up, so Rwanda, I don't know if you know about Rwanda, but it's a country that suffered, that went through the genocide. I don't know if you have ever heard about the genocide against Tutsi. It happened in 1994. So growing up, the country was kind of getting back to its feet, trying to come back after suffering, after the destruction that the genocide caused. But the country was emphasizing on helping the youth and women get an education. So education was a huge thing, and my parents valued education, so I got a good education. And I always wanted to do well in school because I knew that I need to get an education to do something great. As other kids, not all kids, but my vision changed at different times depending on what the market was advertising at that time. So sometimes I would want to be in construction, or other times I would want to be a teacher. I remember I wanted to be a math teacher because I really liked math when I was young. But yeah, I got a good education, and that from there I knew that I wanted to also go to the university once I finished high school. I always dreamed to come to the United States because it's considered the greatest country in the world, and they had the best education. So that was a dream that came true. I got a scholarship to come and do my undergraduate degree at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And yeah, from there, I learned a lot. I took entrepreneurship courses in high school, but it wasn't the entrepreneurship that we are learning now. It was mostly a kind of accounting, and I really didn't like it. It's not that I hated accounting, but it wasn't presented to me the right way at the beginning. But when I took entrepreneurship as a minor in college, that's when I developed that interest of, you can do great things while doing something you love, and something that you are good at. That's when I became more interested in entrepreneurship.
Okay. So no doubt you, as a young person, you experienced a lot of stuff and almost, traumatic situations with the genocide situation as a young person, and you got through that. And your mom and dad or family supported you to do better.
Yes.
In reference to education, which you accomplished, and I'm sure they're proud of you.
Yeah, I wasn't there at the time during the genocide, but my family went through it. So I lost so many family members, my grandparents. So growing up, I just, even though I wasn't there, but I also suffered the consequences of genocide, and the country wasn't developed yet. So even that also affects you in one way or another. It wasn't as bad as people who actually were there at during the genocide, but the consequences also got to me. But the education and my parents really helped to make sure that what they didn't achieve, that I can achieve, and that was really helpful.
Okay. Well, thank you for clearing that up. And,
Yeah.
But I hear that generational trauma.
Yes.
That came through there.
Yes.
Okay, so we commend you for you and your family for being able to endure such a horrible situation. But so now that you were able to combat that situation, and now you're here and you've gained that education, let's talk a little bit about the program.
Yes.
So, the Garatoni School of Entrepreneurship and Innovation. Tell us a little bit more about that and why people should participate in that.
Yes. So the Garatoni School of Entrepreneurship and Innovation started with the goal to help this region really, and people in this region to launch more businesses, but also grow those successful businesses. And the goal is to help entrepreneurs who are the people who already have that mindset. They have things they want to do or things they have started, but we also want to grow that mindset of being an entrepreneur. Whether you are starting your own business or you are joining an existing organization, having an entrepreneurial mindset helps you to achieve, be innovative, and just not be come up with new things and do things better in a more efficient and effective way, but also serve your community and serve yourself and your family. Yeah. So yeah, the entrepreneurship program has now, the Ivy Tech already had entrepreneurship. They were teaching courses on entrepreneurship, but it wasn't its own program and it wasn't focused on business creation. It was just teaching the what an entrepreneur is and just few concepts of entrepreneurship. But when the school started, it got more focused on being more practical and getting hands-on experience in starting a business, what that is like. Instead of it being theory, you are actually coached or the teachers or the facilitators or instructors help you on that journey of creating your own business.
Okay, okay. Love that. Because, you know, there's been for a long time, until recently, I think they call this, what, the fourth or fifth wave in regards to the industry, which is entrepreneurship. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of entrepreneurship. I mean, I remember the viewpoint of entrepreneurship wasn't a great one back in the day.
Yeah.
And now you can kind of see the transition. And I love where you said it helps with the development of the business mindset.
Yes.
More than just a theory, but now practically engaging in the works that leads to what you said, successful businesses.
Yes.
So that's good. That's good. And from the program, what are you able to obtain? I mean, is it just a certification? What are some of the things you get?
Yes. So the main goal is to help you achieve what you want to achieve. So it can be creating a business. It can be if you already started a business but you are stuck, it's getting you unstuck. It can be I want to develop that mindset so that I can go into this specific career. So that's the main goal. But that also comes with other things as getting a certificate. That's the first steps, the first classes. It's 18 credits. And when you complete that, you also get out with a certificate. And you can continue and get a technical certificate, which is just few more classes. And total, it's 31 credit hours. But you can also, right now, it's not just entrepreneurship classes. You can also take other classes related to your industry, the industry you are interested in. And you can also continue and get an associate degree. But the main focus is about about the student, what the student wants to achieve and what the student wants to get out of the program. A degree is good, but you also have to be able to apply what you learned. It has to take you somewhere. The degree has to help you get somewhere, and that's the focus of the program, is what the student or the person who's attending the program wants to achieve, and that's what we will help you with.
Okay, and see, I love that. So in other words, it's not just a bunch of head knowledge. It actually has a goal with the intentions for the student to succeed in whatever industry that they're trying to engage in.
Yes.
Nice. Now, I gotta tell you, I hear so much value from you in connection with this program, because, you know, some people still are a little bit leery about having an associate's degree in entrepreneurship. You hear it all the time. Well, I don't know what that is or what that's going to do. But you've made it very clear of what that is and what it's going to do for those who are interested in that. I want to ask you, I haven't delved into the program myself, but I wanted to ask, because we get a lot of guests on the show, and I've had people outside the show ask me questions in connections to the funding or the ecosystem that's part of this. Can you talk a little bit about that, and does the program even engage in that type of conversation?
Yes, that's a question that I get from most people, and be like, does your program provide funding? Right now, the program provides $750 pre-seed money for students who went through the program, who maybe they want to buy something to help them in prototyping, or they want to register their business, or they want to buy a material to help them in their business. That's the pre-seed money. But there are so many funding opportunities in this region. What I like to tell students is first develop your business, develop your idea, test and see with very few resources that are available to you. It can be through the pre-seed funding or the resources that you already have, and test the market and see how people react to your idea, to your product, to your service. And once you see like a proof of concept, once you have a proof of concept, once you see some good reaction, it's easy to be like, okay, this is then what I need. I've been able to see some success using these very, very few resources. Now that I know that if I got this, I will be able to achieve what I want to achieve. I would be able to get greater results. Then we can help you be like, okay, this is what you need. And resources doesn't always come, has to be money. But if it's money, we can be like, okay, depending on the type of funding that you need, you can get it from here or here and here. Because there's so many opportunities for funding in this region, so many pitch competitions that happen, so many opportunities, so many other opportunities that helps to get funding. But I like to tell students to first get a proof of concept, to first test the market and see how people react before you pursue funding.
Okay.
But to answer your question, we provide a pre-seed funding for our student, $750. But also we help you once you are at that stage that you are ready to pursue funding. We direct you to the right places that provide funding.
Okay, all right. So I appreciate that guidance that I hear, and even a little incentive with the $700 and some dollars. Now, what I also hear, it sounds like it goes back to something we always talk about on the show. It's paramount. It's absolutely necessary. There is no getting around it. Because you said direct them to the next level. Sounds like it all goes back to that business plan.
Yes.
And then that proof of concept. And when you say proof of concept, are you saying testing your new business or newfound service in the market to see if people will pay you for it? Is that the proof of concept?
Yes, yes. It's testing the market and see if how the market reacts to it. When you're studying, it's always about your ideas, what you think, and sometimes you have so many assumptions that can be true or not true, and you don't know if it's true until you test it and validate, is this right? So you have to test your concept first, your assumptions, and see how people react to your assumptions or to your business, to your product. And from there, you are able to adjust, pivot if you need to, add or remove whatever needed as it is needed. But yes, it's testing the market to see if people need what you are offering. Or if people want what you are offering, or if there is other ways that you can meet their needs. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate that. And that's because that's very valuable for you to be able to move forward and succeed, because no doubt the program's not there to have people be a part of it and then they don't succeed, because one of the things I keep hearing you say is you're doing it with the purpose for them to succeed.
Yes.
So that means they will have to come to a reality of whether or not the region or area or the market responds properly. And it doesn't mean they have to give up on their dream of being an entrepreneur or business owner. It just means that they may have to tailor or change or even adjust what they're trying to do to meet the market's needs.
Yes. Otherwise, you will be wasting your time and energy and money and resources, right? If you are doing something that won't produce, as an entrepreneur, you need to be able to sell. You need to be able to earn some type of money. Otherwise, you won't have a business, right? So or even if it's a nonprofit organization, you need to be able to sustain the organization or even offer something that the community needs. The goal is not just to have something that is there, but it's to have something that is successful, that is making an impact to you, to the community, and that you can continue to run. You can sustain.
Okay, sustainable business. I appreciate that. So now there's a event that's coming up soon. I believe it's, I don't know, I think it's next month.
February 20th, yes.
And what is that event?
So the idea came from how we can support the students that we already serve, the alumni who went through the program, but also other local entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs who are in the communities, that people who have some entrepreneurial mindset, some or have already started some businesses. So we wanted to support them. It's during the National Entrepreneurship Week, and we are going to have speakers who went through the program and now they have obtained success, who will share how they have been operating, what they have learned from their operations, and give insights to the new entrepreneurs who are just starting. But we also want to, we are having workshops. We want to make it not just a networking event, but more give people an opportunity to learn and get learn from that event, learn from people who have gained some success, learn from experts that we have in this region. But we will also have booths where students will have, those who have things to sell can sell and get into revenue, help them get into revenue. Those who are looking for feedback can get feedback from customers and test and see if what they want to do is something that the market is interested in. So those are the main parts of the event.
Okay, and that's the Entrepreneurship Conference that will be taking place in February during the same time of Entrepreneurship Week.
Yes.
And this will be at the Ivy Tech Community College in South Bend.
Yes, it's at Ivy Tech Community College, South Bend, in the cafe, and the event is starting at 10 a.m. and ending at 2 p.m. We invite everybody to come and learn and connect and give feedback.
Okay. All right.
That's about the event. The other thing I can add, the name of the official name of the event is Small Biz Ignite, Small Business Ignite. So if you see flyers somewhere, make sure you register and attend. It's going to be a great event for sure.
All right, all right. Well, we are almost out of time, and I want to thank you so much for coming on and giving us your feedback and talking about the program. Real quickly, just tell them in that camera how they can get in contact with you.
Yes, so my email is agasaro@ivytech.edu, and Mavel can put it on the screen. But you can also come to Ivy Tech and ask for Ange Agasaro, the program chair of entrepreneurship. You can visit our website and just look at South Bend and reach out to us. Those are the three main ways you can reach out to us.
All right, thank you, Ange. And I want to thank you all for coming and tuning in to another episode of Let's Talk Business. And as always, we want to encourage all our entrepreneurs to stay focused and continue to strive to be a boss. Y'all take care and have a great one.